Craig, tell us a little bit about what your organization does and why you're here in Paris.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's a bigger issue than what we're dealing with right now in terms of energy and environment, both in the United States and around the world. And the Paris suburb, which isn't very far from here, up the street, we have world leaders getting together and basically deciding what the future of our environment is going to look like, what the future of our economy is going to look like. Unfortunately, the model for which they've chosen is one in which is cause great damage here in the Europe, both in Germany, Paris, France, England, in terms of these focuses on renewable energy that will not work. We have a similar kind of plan in the United States through the Clean Power Plan that Obama was about to put forth in his as well.
Okay, and so you guys do lawsuits, I guess. Tell us a little bit about some of the environmental lawsuits you've done in the United States.
Well, actually, we start out, we have two practice areas. One's Freedom of Information Act, where we basically require or ask the federal government to reveal exactly what they have done behind closed doors. That's called FOIA requests. We have an attorney who does that. A lot of those, unfortunately, end up in lawsuits because the government's not willing to say exactly what they're doing. Mm-hmm. The other area is called basic litigation. We look at constitutional issues such as Colorado, where they have a similar plan as they're coming up with here in COP21 in terms of requiring a significant percentage of renewable energy to be part of the energy mix. And so we have a suit there as well, which impacts a lot of states in the United States.
Okay. There's a lot of money being discussed here and a lot of money being thrown around and pledged by our leaders, Obama and some of the Western governments. Talk a little bit about that and maybe what kind of influence that's having on the whole atmosphere here.
Well, I think I think it was Jerry Maguire who, in that movie where they said, "Show me the money." I mean, I think you have to follow the money in this deal. I mean, this is all about money. I mean, why would you take the most productive, the cleanest, the most efficient energy system in the United States and then around the world in terms of relying on coal, hydro, nuclear, wherever you are, and try to destroy that? Well, the answer is simple, because there's a lot of money in where the alternative is. In the United States, you have a lot of money and a lot of federal money and a lot of state money being poured into renewable energy. That's the only way that that system can survive. And then you have to ask yourself why. Well, because like anything else with money, there's winners and losers. In the United States, it's the one percenters. It's Bloomberg who dropped $30 million in one day on the Sierra Club. It's Tom Steyer, who came out of New York City, he's a Wall Street guy, and now he's promoting this clean energy process. Most of the people that they support are getting subsidies from the government to promote renewable energy. That's what this game is about. And they fund every aspect of it, whether it's renewable technology or the Sierra Club, so that they can get the particular senators or congressmen elected that they need to get elected.
Okay, so you've been here in Paris for a little while. What are your thoughts on what you've seen, both in terms of the COP21 summit, and yesterday we had the Heartland Institute's conference, and now here we're at the counter COP21. What are your thoughts on what's been happening here?
Well, I think this is a great city. I mean, Paris, if you know your history, I mean, this is where the whole concept, or partly where liberty and individual rights came from. You know, they were very influential in the American Revolution, and they had their own revolution. And so it's sort of, we're starting back over again. And, although this time we're not fighting against a monarchy, basically, but we're fighting against a tyranny of sorts. We're fighting against the tyranny of the United Nations, or the tyranny of socialist governments here in the United States, or quite honestly, socialist governments in America. And these people are looking for centralized power. They're looking to try to control resources. And we had a lot of we call them patriots, but there are a lot of people here in Europe who have a lot less rights than we do, who are willing to stand up, both at Heartland yesterday and today. We're at a conference where they're speaking French for most part. And who are these people? They're basically scientists. They're chemists. They're people who study things, who just basically see something significantly wrong with what's being promoted up the street here at the COP21.
Okay, anything else you want to add?
No, I just think that, I mean, my biggest message is that people need to stay aware. They need to stay awake. Do not, it's like the Wizard of Oz, don't mind the man behind the green curtain. Well, you should mind the man behind the green curtain. Do your own research. There's so much information out there. There's so much truth that's out there in terms of what this issue is and what they're trying to pull over your eyes. And, we need to understand, as Americans in particular, that we have the resources that we can look at this issue on our own. Don't be led down a rows of paths because it doesn't exist. Do your own work.